What's up guys, it's the Devil's Town here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over pro players drop spots for trios cash cups coming up next week. But before I get into these drop spots guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you help you, drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first drop spot I'm going to be looking at is Lechy, Benji, Fishy, and MrSavage. And the only reason why I'm really looking at their drop spot and analyzing them is because they've been dominating and winning a ton of these tournaments thus far. Trios, these MrSavage Cups, these Lackey Cups, War Legend, all sorts of stuff. They've been popping off in trios consistently. They've been by far the best trio in the entire world. They've been dominating their region, but without a doubt, they've been the most consistent trio. So just some things, again, it's a Mythic POI, and I've tried finding a lot of teams that don't land at Mythic POIs because there's very, very few in the pro community, obviously, because, again, one of the advantages of landing at a place like this is the amount of loot you're going to get. But some things that I do like about it, obviously, loot, again. And another great thing about it, center location, you're not going to have to worry about rotating. So some really, really good stuff. Now, things I don't like about it, there's going to be a ton of RNG involved, as you're going to see right here in this fight, as somehow Lechy ends up clutching up a gray pistol fight against a purple charged shotgun with someone who has shield. So that's really, really embarrassing for that guy. But again, something like you're not going to have a ton of materials. Like, you're going to have really good loot, but you're not going to have a ton of materials. You have to be really good at fighting off spawn, choosing your fights, playing your angles. I mean, look, he's already got a purple charge and a purple compact. But, again, not a ton of mats, not a ton of shield, not a lot of health. So, again, the disadvantage to this spot is really only just surviving, because it's going to be heavily contested, and you're going to be kind of relying on RNG for loot. There isn't a ton of floor loot spawns, and there isn't a lot of material places to gather. Personally, I don't find this drop spot to be that elite other than the loot that they get. But when you have these elite players like, you know, Lechy, Benji, and Savage, W King doesn't really become an issue, doesn't become a problem. So they usually can kill pretty much anyone that they're fighting and get the mythic weapons that are going to allow them to pretty much dominate the rest of the game like they have been doing. So again, if you are, I would recommend this drop spot if you're an elite W keyer, good at fighting off spawn, low ping player, all that, confident in your ability to fight off spawn and get dubs, and not have to worry about being too positionally conscious. Again, as you see, with it being a center zone location, you're going to more than likely get circle, probably 9 times out of 10, just because it's in the center. But let's move on to the next drop spot. Alright, the next drop I'm going to be going over is Clix, Bizzle, and Commandments drop spot, which is actually a non-mythic POI, and that's going to be Pleasant Park. Again, this is Pro Trio Scrims we're going to be looking at just here kind of at the start. And I personally really like this drop. It's a little less hectic compared to Agency or Mythic POIs. It's going to be a little bit more slow-paced controlled, and I'm not surprised with players like Bizzle and Commandment where this is a preferred drop spot, as Clix mainly being the X Factor and Fragger. And he pretty much runs this route that we're going to see him run because it's very mat efficient, which again is something I find very, very, very good in a drop spot. I take that highly. If you have ability to get quick materials off your drop, you're going to more than likely be able to survive, thrive. And look, they're even kind of split dropping a little bit. They each kind of get their own corner. Wow, look at this Kovacs here by Clix. But Bizzle's on his own house over there. Again, a lot of loot in that house. There isn't a ton of loot here, but I believe that Clix decides to land over here just because there's a ton of wood pallets here. So things are really, really good for him here. You're only going to get one chest here. But again, he can go on to the other houses. But this is why I believe he lands there. He lands at this house, gets this corner. Then Commandment gets over towards Doghouse on the far right corner. And again, they had this drop spot at the end of Season 2 here. So they have a ton of chemistry. They've already kind of built this. Clix has been landing at Pleasant, even for solos, a long time. Clix knows this area like the back of his hand. And it hasn't changed that much with the new season. Everything is pretty much similar for the most part. But things that I like about this drop spot, again, I like the quick materials already at pretty much going to be max wood off spawn, which is really, really good. He can even get a ton of metal, but look, he's going to get pretty much close to wood. Unfortunately, he has to go over to Bizzle and help him. But Again, you can see not as chaotic, not as crazy, and again, it depends on how much you're contested, but it's pretty obvious that more than likely that a mythic POI is going to be more contested than a non-mythic POI. And so Clix is going to go over here and help. I kind of like that they kind of split drop. It allows them to get enough loot, and it's something that they could kind of all converge when they need it. But Pleasant Park, I definitely like as a drop. It's usually not too positionally bad. It's surrounded by waters, so you can really get around. It's not really off too far away from the map. And so, again, I personally like this drop spot better. I personally, with my playstyle, my trio's playstyle, I would prefer to land here where I can at least get somewhat established. And honestly, guys, watch this insane little 1v3 from Mr. Senor Clix himself. He actually ends up killing someone that I used to play with all the time, Mr. Jaden Shots. But this gets a little bit scuffed, and watch how he absolutely clutches this out. Bizzle unfortunately getting knocked. But again, what allows Clix to survive is his mat count, and it's something that I've already talked about within this particular scene, that these extra amount of materials, if he doesn't have this, like at Authority, he definitely dies here. Commandment doesn't have a ton of mats, but Clix's drop allows him to get a lot of mats and ends up clutching this out. And so this is super scuffed, super awkward, and this is why Clix is such an X factor. I just want to y'all to watch just how good this man is. Boom, cracks this guy. Piece control. A little bit of Kovacs, doesn't shots, almost gets cracked here, but no mats. Doesn't even get the fish off. Boom, kills my homie Jaden Shots. GG's. Really, this is just really, really insane. Boom, all those heals. Quick edit. And boom, finishes up on the rest. And a little 1v3 for the big Clix out of Pleasant. So overall, I'd say the materials advantage and the slow pace is probably going to better suit most players as opposed to just hot dropping at a mythic POI and probably getting 50-50 at every occasion. So I personally like this drop spot a little bit more. All right, next up we have Scoped Innocence in Tfue, again landing at a mythic POI. Not a surprise here. I personally like this mythic POI as opposed to Authority, just because, again, to me it seems a little bit more slow paced. Just that, again, there's more materials to be out. It's more open. I don't personally like fighting in super congested areas, just kind of like Authority. This gives you ability to be open here. You have all these food boxes to give you extra health and shield, stuff that you're going to definitely need, and a quick 40 shield. You got wood pallets up above if you need quick mats. Now, unfortunately, the one drawback that to here is obviously the amount of people that are going to be rotating in to come and try and third party this. That's always something to be aware of when you land here. But again, you're getting that mythical launcher, you're getting that mythical shotgun, and you're going to see they just kind of control this side. They like landing on this side, and I feel like this side is way better to land on personally. If you land at that gas station, not only you're going to have to rotate to the vault, and so teams that land on this side or established can kind of hold it. And if Kit somehow gets over here, they can get Kit, and then you're really, really screwed or boned. But I feel like this side has a lot more loot density. You have a little bit more coverage, a little more escapability. This side is definitely the better side. And I've seen them consistently land on this side as opposed to landing over on the gas station side. So, again, I like this drop. There's, again, more wood pallets here. There's more, I guess, escapability or more ability to maneuver than there is at the Authority. The location, again, as opposed to, you're usually going to have to rotate here, but that's actually not really too bad thing with the loot that you have. You can kind of come in and pick off people in lazy. You just maybe want to be quick as you possibly can. And they kind of get looted and booted. I don't know if they actually got Kit or not. Nope, Tfue's actually pushing up on the mountain, so really good stuff here. And they're going to end up, again, getting this whole POI to themselves. And again, it's going to be heavily contested because it's mythic POI. You're probably not going to get something as nice and easy as it is in a pro scrim. But again, I would recommend, just from what I've seen watching this trio, is landing on that gas station side with your trio and trying to control that, and then slow play into getting Kit and the vault. Just in total review of the 3 drop spots that we saw, Authority, Pleasant Park, and Caddy Corner, I would have to say that for most of the people watching my videos, that Pleasant Park would probably be the most ideal. It'll be the least amount of contested. You saw an easy way to get quick materials. You saw a strategy to disperse loot between you and your other 2 players in your trio if you land where Clix does. And I like the fact that it may be a little bit more contested, but I guarantee you it's not going to be as contested as a mythic POI, which again, the more players, the more you're relying on RNG and what you get out of chests, and just basically who pushes you and whatnot. Now there's elite W keyers, the guys that just are just absolute animals, and you're still looking for a drop spot, which you're probably, if you're already a W key animal, you're going to be landing at these mythic POIs, and a lot of these pro players are landing at these mythic POIs, but it doesn't mean you have to, as you can see with Clix, Commandment, and Bizzle, 2 guys that are more really cerebral out of Clix's trio. So I personally, my favorite is going to be Pleasant Park. If I had a choice between those 3 places, it's where I would land. If I didn't want to land anywhere, it'd be Authority. It's very tight, enclosed space, very, very hectic, chaotic. Caddy Corner is hectic and chaotic, sure. However, there's a lot more maneuverability. There's a lot more coverage. And if you play Caddy Corner right, you can win every time. And Scopes, Innocence, and Tifu have proven that by getting a top 5 recent performance in the Lackey Cup. So that's my opinion on those drop spots. That's going to do it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.